Hi golfers, Nick here from Nick Taylor Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. Today we're going to take a look at probably what is the most important fundamental of playing good golf. If you take a look at the best golfers in the world, they all swing it very differently, they all stand differently, they all hold it differently, they all aim differently. But also one thing that links them all. So I'm going to hit a shot here, got the TrackMan set up. Okay, so on the top left there, there's a feature on TrackMan which gets you to look at sort of your low point of your swing. So it's just come up there 5.7 inches after the ball. So as I hit that shot, the lowest point of my swing was 5 inches after the golf ball, and that's probably the most common thing you'll find in the best golfers, is that the low point is always after the ball. So let me hit one more. Again, 4.3 inches after the ball. So when you take a look at some of the data on the TrackMan, it gives you your club path, your angle of attack, face angles. But one thing maybe not a lot of people know about is the low point, and you can actually see how many inches after the ball the low point is. So look at that last shot. It wasn't my best shot, bit out to the right, but attack angle was 5 degrees down, and the low point was 4 inches after the ball. Okay, felt pretty good. Okay, so on that one there, 4.8 inches after the ball. Angle of attack 5 degrees down. So there's a common theme there with all these shots, is that the low point is after the ball, and that's what you'll find with the best golfers. So when we look at measuring the low point, obviously all of you have got access to TrackMan, but basically it's where the club hits the ground. So if you set up and you're practicing, you can do this at the range or just at the practice area. If you have something as a reference point, like a white line or any line that you have available, so just using the line on the mat here, if I put my club on that line, make a swing, my club should always hit just after that line. So if the golf ball is the line, the low point should always be just after. So I should be able to stand there all day and always hit the ground after that line, and that's really what links the best players in the world. So how do we measure where the club hits the ground, and how do you relate that to your golf swing? So there's 3 things that are related to the low point of the swing. One is where your weight is, one is where the handle position is, and the other is the swing direction. So the first one, talking about the weight, we measure the weight using 2 centres, centre of the hips and the centre of the shoulders. So as I set up here, I have my setup very 50-50 of my weight, but what the last thing I do is just bump my hip like an inch forward, and that just gives me a slight bit of weight on the left at setup. So at setup I've got probably 55% of my weight on the left. Now when you measure the best golfers at impact, their head position would be pretty much where it started, but their lower body now would be moving forward. If we're trying to hit after the golf ball, we need more weight on the left at the point of impact, and that's the lower body weight being on the left. If you look at the best players, you can see all of them have their weight on the left at impact, and definitely on the finish they will move their weight to the left hand side. So that's them being able to hit the ball first, then the ground. And if you measure their head position, it stays pretty much steady throughout the course of the swing. If you find your head's moving back or it's behind, that's another reason that would cause your low point to be behind. So one would be the weight position measured by the hips and the centre of the shoulders. Now the next thing that relates to the low point is the handle position. So if I set up on this line and I have my hands slightly forward, if I keep them at the same position or the same alignment, the hands being forward, I'll hit the same point on the ground each time. Now if you set up the handle forward, but for whatever reason let the club overtake the hands, that's going to cause you to hit behind. And I see this a lot, almost like golfers trying to lift the ball up into the air, they're causing the club to go past their hands, and the club gets the width of the arc of the swing gets longer too early, the radius of the swing, and it causes the club to bottom out before the ball. So that would be another reason why you'd hit behind the ball. So that would be as you're swinging, letting the club overtake the hand. So if you look at the best golfers at impact, their handle position is going to be pretty much on the left leg at the point of impact with the weight on the left. So handle forward, lower body weight on the left, head position in the middle. So that would be the next thing that would relate to the low point. You could have the weight on the left, but you could still hit behind just by scooping, letting the club overtake the hands, causing the low point to move behind. So that's the second thing that causes low point to be behind. The third one is the swing direction. So from this angle, the more the swing direction goes out to the right, the further back behind you hit on the mat or the ground, the more the swing direction goes to the left, further forward you hit. So I see a lot of golfers almost trying to draw the ball as they swing, almost trying to swing from the inside. That's causing the low point to go behind. So the swing direction is really important. We want the swing direction to be pretty straight towards the target. We don't want excessively across or excessively into out, but in the process of some golfers trying to deliver the club from the inside, they start to move the low point back. So it's very important that you look at your swing direction. Now, using the TrackMan here, we have different measurements. We've got angle of attack, club path, we have swing direction. And my swing direction on that last shot was actually 2 degrees to the left of the target. Now, my club path was 1.5 degrees into out, but my swing direction was to the left. So I'm going to test the swing direction. So I'm going to deliberately swing this one out to the right, see what happens to the low point, see what happens to the path. So it felt like I swung out to the right there. Okay, so looking at that last shot, so I deliberately swung out to the right, and I see this a lot. Angle of attack now has gone from 3 or 4 degrees down to 2.9 degrees up, so I hit up on that ball. My low point was 2.8 inches behind, so I hit behind. My club path moved 10 degrees to the right, and my swing direction moved 12 degrees to the right. So now I'm swinging way to the right, I'm hitting up on the ball. Okay, I may get the odd shots where I'll start to draw it, but my consistency of my strike is going to be out because my low point is behind. It's not just about trying to hit a draw necessarily or trying to get rid of your slice to improve your golf. Improve your strike and you'll probably improve your golf. I think that's really the most important thing here. So just to recap there, so we've covered probably the most important fundamental playing good golf, and that's strike and the low point. We've used the TrackMan data to sort of give us some measurements. I've discussed the 3 things that are linked in to the low point. So weight position, measured by the centre of the shoulders and the centre of the hips. Handle position, being forward, hands forward. As you go through, you don't want that club overtaking the hands. That's going to obviously move the low point back as soon as you let the club overtake your hand. And also swing direction, it's sometimes overlooked. So you saw there I deliberately delivered that club from the inside, but to do that, I've had to almost tilt back, which would move the head back. Again, another thing that moves the low point behind. And obviously moving the swing direction out to the right has massively moved the low point back. So weight position, handle position, swing direction, all those things linked in to control the low point of swing, probably the most important fundamental of playing good golf. So golfers out there, got any questions, post them in the box below. If you're not already, please follow me on my other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.